Welcome to the NFL Divisional Round Playoff Saturday edition of Benny versus the Penny. Here's your host, big bloviating Ben Maller.
So it was close, Tom. We had to come from behind last weekend, but here we are. We have made the divisional round the last weekend until September, where we have multiple NFL meaningful games on Saturday and Sunday, and more. Because starting next week, Tom, just one day of football, championship Sunday in the NFL.
Love it.
This is the Saturday special, as we call it, for the divisional round. And
Brad, before we look forward to the divisional round, let's look back. The Looney math from Wildcard weekend. Benny 2-4, Penny 4-2. Benny, you lost to a brainless Penny.
Well, let me explain, Tom. All right, number one, as Alf would say, number one. I was on the right side. See, I don't feel bad about my handicapping. Let me tell you why. Okay. I had the Green Bay Packers, who were up 21-3. It took a historical comeback. Yeah. I should say an historical choke job by the Cheeseheads to lose that game. And the Jacksonville Jags, the handicapping was on point, Tom. The outcome was not on point, but the handicapping was on point. Jacksonville had the lead twice in the fourth quarter. They had one of the top defenses in the NFL. They melted down. All right. Every key indicator, as they say on Wall Street, every key indicator said you would take Jacksonville. If I told you before the game Jacksonville would have had two leads in the fourth quarter with that defense and the Bills' offense kind of up and down, you would have said, okay, I'm going to take Jacksonville. So I don't feel bad about it. The only one, I was right on the Carolina Rams game. I got that. The only one that really, I don't think there was one that was really terrible. Sure
those games were great. At the end of at the beginning of the fourth quarter with the Steelers and the Texans, the score was 7-6.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah. Wow. So if the final score was misleading and trolls like, "Oh, you picked the wrong team," it was a 1-point game. C.J. Stroud had 5 fumbles in that game.
Oh, Jesus!
First time ever in NFL history, Tom, a quarterback has had 5 fumbles in a playoff game, and their team has won.
Also, in your defense, if this was easy, you'd be living in Vegas as a gambler instead of living in L.A., hosting a late-night nickel and dime sports talk radio show.
Yeah, number one national sports radio
show. That's right.
Thanks for fixing my work, Tom. I appreciate that.
Penny for your thoughts, Ben.
All right, so my first thought, let's start with Robert Kraft, because I got Tom Looney vibes from Robert Kraft. So he did an interview this week. You know who that is, Tom? Robert Kraft. He's the guy that
Yes, I do. Yeah, they show him They show him more times on TV than Robert Saleh.
He gets a lot of TV time. So Robert Kraft revealed this week that he does not want to retire running the Patriots. He's 84 years old. He essentially said the reason he doesn't want to retire is because when he goes out to restaurants around Boston, everyone kisses his ass. Okay. And that sounds like something you would say, Tom. All right? That sounds like – and I don't know why any owner would ever retire. This is the ultimate playground for rich guys, right? I mean, you're a rich guy. You made a lot of money in business or whatever. You buy an NFL.
Shiny object of all shiny objects, and there's only 32 of them.
And as you like to say, Tom, it keeps you engaged with younger people because they.
Oh yeah, I've seen the pictures of Bob and his younger people.
He might be. We'll get sued here, Tom, but he might be doing some really good things with those younger people.
Oh, it keeps you super engaged with.
Yes, very much so. My other thought here, Tom, I got a few of them, but Mike Tomlin. Gone out in Pittsburgh, a crowd-funded removal by the fans of Pittsburgh. They were upset with Tomlin. I actually supported Tomlin. Even though I fired him a couple times on the radio show, I supported Tomlin. And my theory here, and I'm going to workshop this a little bit more, Tom, but so I can just do it right now, is that Mike Tomlin was the Febreze of the Steelers, meaning they had a lot of stank on that roster, a lot of stank. And so either I'm right and he was fix-it Felix or Tomlin was part of the problem. But I look at those teams, when they got to the playoffs, they were exposed. It's like you build a Jenga tower and it eventually is going to fall over. And those teams overachieved in Pittsburgh. And then when they got to the postseason,
Mike Tomlin was great at rearranging the deck chairs on one Titanic team after another after Ben Roethlisberger was gone. Even when Ben was there in the later years, they didn't always have great rosters, but they had him digging them out. When you have Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger digging out of holes, that's a good thing. And after Ben left, no good quarterbacks.
Well, and quote machine, Mike Tomlin.
Oh my God, the best.
Oh,
the great
so
voice, great quotes.
Yeah.
Kept it quippy, kept it 10 seconds or less, like it was a more music, less talk station.
Yeah.
It was.
Now, my other thought, it actually relates to Tomlin and.
Oh, you got more pennies? Okay, go back to that.
One more thing. So it goes back to Tomlin doing television, because I love Tomlin's sound bites. I think he's really good. However, in order for him to be great on television, we're a couple of seasoned TV veterans, Tom.
Right.
As you know, for 2 years on NBC. So here's the thing. Tomlin, in order for him to be great, he can never coach again. He has to go full Charles Barkley and be willing just to bury people. If he's willing to do that,
right? Yeah.
Right? Because if Tomlin's planning on coming back to coach, then you're going to get a buttoned up version of Tomlin that doesn't want to step on too many toes, and it's not going to be very good.
Which is almost every coach and player that goes into broadcast.
Exactly. They're all part of the oligarchy. They're part of the old boys club, and they don't want to change it. All right, let's get to the games, Tom. What do you say?
Bills and Broncos in the Mile High City. This game is all about Josh Allen versus the Denver defense. Denver defense is dynamite against teams with crappy quarterbacks, but we've seen teams with good quarterbacks pick them apart. Also, the all-world quarterback for the Denver Broncos, not so good against good teams. Josh Allen, great quarterback. Buffalo is getting 1.5 points.
All right, it's Benny versus the Penny, not Looney versus the Penny.
I'm sorry.
So this game is on CBS, Tom, which means Jim Nantz and Tony Romo
have
the call. Now, Romo, did you see Romo this week? I talked about it on the overnight show, but Romo was getting killed for his performance in the Wildcard game. So he said that he was asked about it, and he claimed that the reason he sounded the way he did was because he was sick, but he didn't want to miss the game.
Yeah,
he said he was sick. So
he should just say, fuck you all. What game are you calling?
No, he should say, F you all. I make $18 million a year. You losers. I can golf every day. Romo could be out at 6 a.m. on game day golfing. Who cares? He's
choosing to entertain the American people.
He's doing it for the American people.
God's work.
Yeah. All right. So the weather in Denver, 35 degrees clear. No snow at Mile High this weekend. As you mentioned, the betting public heavily backing Josh Allen and your Buffalo Bills, the team of your youth, Tom. Now, this is recency bias, though, because part of it's recency bias. Yes. The public is reacting to Buffalo, that road upset over Jacksonville last week and all that. But it's Denver's first home playoff game. Check this out, Tom. At Mile High elevation in a decade. Can you believe it's been 10 years since the Broncos? When you were a kid, before my time, they were always in the playoffs, the Broncos at home. Where does the time go? So, listen, Denver's got a good record. You said, well, they don't play that well against winning teams, but Denver does have a winning record. They're plus, they have the rest advantage, the bye. I don't know how big that is, but historically it has been. And Josh Allen is a one-man band for the Bills. So I am taking the Broncos here, not because of the altitude, because of the defense, Tom. I'm taking the Broncos because of that defense.
Well, Ben, what I was saying was Bo Nix is no good against really good teams, really good defenses.
But it doesn't matter if the Broncos win. But Denver, they've been very good at home. Defensively, they force a lot of mistakes. And your boy Josh Allen has been a seesaw, up and down and up and down. Josh Allen, so with turnovers this year, last year he was perfect, but he's been very turnover prone, especially under pressure. Most quarterbacks are. The Broncos pass rush, I have a crystal ball, Tom. So the pass rush of the Broncos is going to disrupt Josh Allen's rhythm. The secondary will then be able to handle those ragtag wide receivers, the flotsam and jetsam for the Buffalo Bills, and just a 1 or 2 Josh Allen turnovers. This thing could be an easy win for the Broncos. More likely a grinded out, low-scoring game. It's a 1-point line. Denver forcing Buffalo to kick field goals.
You're saying take the Broncos.
I said Denver's going to force field goals over touchdowns. Bo Nix isn't going to be great. He'll be good enough. Remember last year he played in the playoffs. He had that, I think it was the opening drive, if I remember, for the Broncos. They went down and scored a touchdown, and that was like the only touchdown they scored in the game. I was like, what? You talk about like a movie with a false opening, where you get all excited and the movie sucks. Or like a commercial you're in where you sell some kind of male enhancement drug and it looks good.
Oh, yeah, my boner pill commercial.
Yeah, it's still getting played a lot, by the way. Anyway, I'm taking the Broncos, Tom.
Heads home team, tails the visitors. That's how we play Benny versus the Penny. Let's see what happens here in the Mile.
Here we go.
Hey, the brainless penny lands on tails, smartly taking the Bills and the points. Saddleback College dropout Ben Maller going with the Denver Broncos.
That's respected Saddleback alumnus right next to Mark Grace of the Chicago Cubs, who had the most hits in the 1990s. But you already knew that, Tom. You already knew Mark, the great Mark. And Anthony Carter, who had a game-winning shot for the Miami Heat. And I did his games on radio at Saddleback against the New York Knickerbockers at Madison Square Garden. How about that?
And Tomm Looney,
yeah,
who filmed his boner pill commercial in Saddleback College.
Oh, there you go. That's good stadium. Did you see the seat I sat on there in the press box when I called those games?
I didn't see that golden throne.
ASBR. That's 88.5, Tom, keeping a Jazz commercial free.
That seat was wider back then than now. You were really.
I always got little fat jokes there. Little fat jokes from Louis. Here we go. Where are we going now?
Cancel me, bitch. Okay.
I think for those shirts we should cancel you. That's what I think we should. And that damn art that Ross dressed for.
Hey, well, you're going with the dogs according to our pre-show meeting. So I went
let the dogs out. I wasn't at the meeting. I'm too big for the meeting. What are you talking about?
By the way, NBC, they never let me say "cancel me, bitch." They never let me say.
I don't know why. See, if we were doing the NBC show, they would have stop. We'll do it over. Stop. We got to check with the NBC censors. You can't say that.
Okay, we got 49ers at Seahawks. This is a real challenge for the 49ers with all the injuries they have. Seahawks beat the Niners in regular season finale to lock up the top seed. If you remember, Big Ben, go back in a hot tub time machine. San Francisco getting 7.5 points in a division rivalry playoff game. Hey, do we have the Ben Maller math, the Maller mantra up here? This is a divisional game. Maller mantra, divisional game. If one of the teams is getting 7 or more points, take the points. What say you, Ben?
All right, so this game is on Fox, Tom. I like the Maller mantra. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. So hit that mute button there on that. Seahawks. You like Brady?
I know. Yes, he's really improved as a broadcaster. You made
really? I know he sounds terrible to me. I don't know. Everyone says he's improved. I'm like, how is he better? I'll give you this, Tom. Though I am going to be Benny Bryce. Okay. Tom Brady as a broadcaster is better as a broadcaster than Tom Brady running the Raiders. How about that?
That is true. That is true. And, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan. I watched him. I always said his lips, when he was a player, he was only lying when his lips were moving. It reminded me of Floyd Mayweather.
Well, he was very open about that. When he had that weekly show at WEI when I worked there, and he was very open. He did it. He got paid a lot of money, but he never told the truth ever.
Never. Remember the Inflategate? I don't know anything about anything. The guy that shows up early and leaves late.
Well, that inflate thing was bullcrap because the NFL did a season-long investigation of every
about the quarterback of the team. I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, but the deflate thing was bullcrap because the NFL did it. They made this big deal. They hired some science group to investigate the air pressure in footballs the following year, and they didn't like what they found because it backed up what the Patriots were saying, because otherwise they would have had this big announcement about how, all the data confirmed everything, and they didn't do that. But as far as
like the experts at trials, you get somebody who's going to say what you want to hear.
Oh, exactly. You shop for that, or you tell them, here's what I want and all that. All right, so temperatures in the 40s, clear, no rain at kickoff in Seattle this weekend for Nostradamus, who will be crying at the end of this game. In the last 40 years, historically, the Seahawks should win this game. The last 40 years, teams with a rest advantage of 8 or more days, like the Seahawks, Tom, remember, they had an extra day there because of the schedule. The teams like Seattle in the spot, 7-0 straight up in the playoffs. Now, everyone seems to think this is going to be easy money with Seattle. All the numbers lean towards the Seahawks. Seattle's coming off the first round bye.
What are the sharps in Vegas saying?
Now, the Sharps are actually taking the 49ers here. And I'm on the side with the 49ers, but the public is on the side of Seattle. 49ers played a physically taxing game with Philadelphia. Seattle's defense, you love your defense, led by Coach Mike McDonald. I always confuse McDonald and McDaniel, but it's McDonald in Seattle.
I get them confused. And then when I hear Michael McDonald, I think, what a fool believes.
When I hear Mike McDonald, I think of old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I flash back.
Well, that's because you're an intellectual. Yeah,
that's right. It's actually the current number one defense in EPA rush, the Seattle Seahawks. Toss in injuries. George Kittle's out. He's drinking whiskey. He popped his Achilles, so he's out. Now, Fred Warner may come back. It sounds like he's going to try to play. Even if he plays, how long is he going to be able to be out there? Nevertheless, again, I'm taking the Niners here. The reason why, Tom, GE, Tom. You know what that means?
General Electric.
No, the great equalizer, Sam Darnold. Big game Sam. Big game Sam. And people don't like to talk about this part because it doesn't help their argument if they picked Seattle. But Darnold actually struggled significantly against that ragtag 49er defense of spare parts and leftovers there in the 2 regular season meetings. Now, the first game, to be fair, the Niners did have their key defensive players, but the second game, they didn't. He failed to reach 234 passing yards.
Niners, it doesn't matter who's playing for the Niners. They come out.
For sure. I mean, the Niners, that is true. Their defensive front, even without the starters, they should be able to force Sam Darnold into at least 1 or 2. I need 2 old Sam moments. Memory lane, Tom.
Well, you know what the Niners have to do to win this game, Ben? They have to play San Francisco 49er football.
Thank you, Tom. That's why you wear the funny shirts and the makeup. So, Sam Darnold grew up in Orange County, went to San Clemente High School, which is not that far from the haunted what are you doing? I'm not done handicapping the game. Oh, my God. A quick finger Looney over there.
All right.
But on offense, listen, the Niners, here's what is going to happen. They're going to turn this game into a mud fight, Tom. A mud fight with no rain. No rain. And without George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, the old rap group, CMC, get a little 5-yard dump-off passes. He turns into 10, 11, 12-yard gains. Move the chains. Keep possession of the ball. Possession is 9/10 of victory. But wait, there's more, Tom. Just to annoy Brock Purdy has been very good at Lumen Field in Seattle. That's the new corporate name. They've had it for a few years at that stadium. The 49ers have won 4 straight games with Brock Purdy in Seattle. And, of course, they've covered the spread in every one of the games. So despite being 7.5-point underdogs, I'm going to take the Niners. Kyle Shanahan's team has been very good as divisional underdogs in all time. And in the playoffs, 4-1 against the spread in such matches.
They just can't be behind in the fourth quarter.
So, good analysis, Tom. Flip the penny up in the air. Come on.
My point is because he's 0-whatever in his coaching history when trailing.
Are you going to quote Jim Rome now and say scoreboard? Is that what you're going to do? You quote Romey? Yeah. No.
Let's flip the coin. Hope it lands on heads again. Good. Penny lands on heads, going with the Seahawks. Big Ben. Points whore taking the 49ers.
I thought you showed up to the production meeting, Tom. What is that about? It's clearly, we're going to have to hire Stevie the intern or something. Get Stevie
like in school, I was barely paying attention. I was saying, just get the makeup and the lighting right, and I'll be fine.
Well, this is the Saturday extravaganza, but there will be a Sunday episode to follow shortly, which means, yet again, you can binge watch Benny versus the Penny. And we need your support. We have no corporate backing, no major sponsors other than a fish restaurant that closed years ago. So we need your help.
You're saying, wind it up, Ben.
Wind it up, wind it up, wind it up.
Always watch Betty versus the Penny. It only makes sense.